Flirties, on the show today is Courtney Revolution, who you may know from Netflix's The Circle and co-host of the Toast to Tea podcast, as we're dating in virtual reality. That's right. In a world where reality TV shows, celebrities, and social media influencers dominate our screens, it's no wonder our perceptions of love, dating, and relationships can become a bit influenced. Yeah. But what happens when these media-driven fantasies start to truly influence our actual dating lives? How do these portrayals of love, dating, relationships affect our own search for love, our own relationships, and even our own self-worth? And most importantly, how can we navigate this media-saturated landscape while staying true to ourselves and our own desires? In today's episode, we're going to unpack all of this and more. We'll explore the subtle and sometimes not so subtle ways that the media impacts our perceptions of love, discuss how to set healthy expectations in our own relationships, and look at how to find a balance between the fantasy and reality, virtual reality of modern dating. So whether you're someone who's been caught up in the romance of a Netflix series, couldn't be me, or you're just trying to figure out how to date authentically in a world of filters and curated images, perhaps, then this episode is for you. Let's dive into it all as we date in virtual reality and discover how the media is truly shaping our dating lives. Let's do this, Flirties.
I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. Hello, my name is Benjamin. I'm the flirt coach and a gay Libra. Everyone has an inner flirt.
Hey, Flirty.
Live, laugh, flirt.
Work the flirt.
Work the flirt. Delulu is the Salulu. Expert on the flirt.
Hey, Flirty. There's always another flirt.
Everyone has an inner flirt. Get out of your head and into the flirt.
Flirties, we have a topic today that maybe you've never heard discussed on a dating podcast before, but this is a Flirtcast, and we're going to be talking about media in all of its forms with our special guest today, Courtney Revolution. Welcome to the show.
Oh my God, thanks for having me on the Flirtcast. I know that's right.
I'm so pumped for this conversation, this episode. So I had this idea as I was thinking here at Flirt headquarters, as I tend to do, just scratching my head, even though I tell the Flirties all the time, think less, stop thinking, right? Trust your intuition. Well, do as I say, not as I do. And so as I was thinking, I came across this post a while ago. I forget the platform, the creator, all of that, but it stuck with me. The message of it stuck with me. And that is, we all exist and live within systems. And certainly if you're dating, you're making connections, forming relationships, doing so within systems, political systems, cultural, economic systems, religious systems, societal systems. And the system we're going to be talking about today is that of media.
Oof.
Pop culture expert, sensation phenomenon, Courtney. So please just, you were on television and I watched you on television, but this is your story to tell. Please tell the Flirties a little bit more about yourself.
Okay. Well, honestly, I am a digital creator, content creator, what have you, right? So I've lived on the internet basically since 2008, just making like YouTube videos. And, I eventually made my way out to Los Angeles because I wanted to pursue that full time. I wound up working at a YouTube channel where I talked about celebrities, like on a huge platform, like millions of subscribers. And then before you know it, we were in lockdown. I was bored at work, sitting at home with my laptop, and I applied for The Circle on Netflix, and I did that, changed my life, and was scrolling TikTok one day and came across your mustache, and here we are.
Here we are. Yes. Now I'm going to be talking about, because we have this in common. I am the Flirties may not know this, but I am a complete pop culture enthusiast, consumer. I also live on the internet, but I also, even if I weren't creating, I would still be there because I just fucking love it.
Same,
It's so
same.
fascinating and interesting to me. So whether you're on social media or not, you're listening to the Flirtcast. I'm sure you watch TV shows, reality or scripted. You're watching movies. You're reading books, consuming articles, surfing the internet. So media is a part of our lives every single day. And I thought it was gonna. I thought it'd be so interesting to have a conversation about how does this influence or impact our dating lives, or does it?
I think that media definitely like impacts our dating lives. We're always like seeing all kinds of people on television, all these different
Hmm.
personalities and connections being made, and some of them are aspirational and some of
Hmm.
them are like situations that you would never want to be in. And so when we find ourselves in situations that maybe we've seen on television or read about in blogs,
Yeah.
for example, we already know, okay, we've seen that story, we've read that book, I don't want to be
Yeah.
involved. Or these are qualities in someone that I've seen executed on TV, in a movie, etc., on reality TV, and this is
Hmm.
something that I want to pursue. So I definitely think that it has an impact on our dating lives for
Yeah.
sure.
Me too. I 1000% agree. And I think this is a good time for this question that came from Flirtstagram. And that is generally around expectations. And let's focus this question on reality dating shows. Do you think these shows do they sort of influence our expectations of what we expect the dating process to look like, of what making a match and a connection looks like, what love could look like? Yeah, I'm curious to hear your perspective.
I mean, I think with dating shows and on reality, reality dating shows, they definitely have an impact on people that believe that you can make these really strong, intense
Hmm.
connections
Hmm.
overnight. Like,
Mm.
for example, we just had like Love Island US end, right?
Mhm.
And we are seeing like these couples over 6 weeks, like, I feel like some of them might get married really soon. And so for the person that's at home constantly, thinking about wanting a partner and wanting that
Yeah.
happily ever after, they see something like a Love Island or Perfect Match on Netflix, and they feel like,
Mhm.
well, something like that is attainable. I could find
Mhm.
my Jane or Joe tomorrow, and be walking down the aisle or skipping down the
Yeah.
villa.
Mhm. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's definitely influenced our expectation around that instant spark to be there. And when you
Yeah.
see how quickly a connection can develop, like I'm thinking like I was like I would watch the Bachelor and Bachelorette series with my mom. Like that was, I feel like for the longest time it came on Monday nights. And so like a little bit sort of like I'll say like kind of a latter stage millennial, 38 at the time of recording. And so this was a time like before you had streaming and you could pause and fast forward through commercials and things. Like that was a must see TV event for many people and families too. Like Monday night, that's what we did. We sat down at 8 o'clock ABC and we watched The Bachelor and Bachelorette. And each week, like it just, oh, like it definitely impacted my expectations around dating. And I'm like, I've had to keep that in mind. And so a follow-up question I have now is you always see on these dating reality shows, like you have the villain, right? You sort of have like the bad boy, the bad girl, right? They typecast a lot of people. And so if you identify strongly with one like kind of quote unquote type of person or type of dater, I'm curious, does that maybe give you insight of like, ooh, like these are some ways and strategies I could date? Or what do you think about that?
Oh my God. Um, hmm. Run the question by me one more time. I
Yeah.
want to I want to marinate on this for just a moment as you give me the question one more time.
I'm thinking of, okay, I hope I get the names right. I'm thinking way back to a fairly early season of The Bachelor where Jake was the Bachelor and he was the fighter pilot. He was a pilot of some kind.
Hmm.
And the person he picked, I believe her name was Vivian. It definitely started with a V. I don't think it was Vivian, but it started with a V. And her or like how she was edited and how she was portrayed throughout that season, like she was quote unquote the villain. She was not the girl's girl. She was not the one people got along with. She was the one that would show a little bit more skin, be more risque, be more forward, be more sexual, kind of lean into that style, very that kind of physical style of flirting. She put a lot of the girls off where she would sometimes like kind of cut in front of line, so to speak, to get Jake's attention. Well, at the end of the day, who did Jake pick? Her.
Period.
Yeah.
She put in the most effort and she put in the most work. It sounds like, because I haven't seen. But it sounds like she did whatever it took to stand out. She wasn't there for friends. She was there for the man.
You're not wrong, Courtney. You're not wrong. But
because we have New York on Flavor of Love, and she was kind of like that.
And God, obsessed with Tiffany Pollard. We're gonna be talking about New York and Flavor of Love for sure in this episode, because I was very much, those are the shows I watch too on. Yeah, oh my God, on VH1, so good. Yeah, so like I'm wondering like if people like watching these reality dating shows, and so they may be like, okay, well, if Vivian, I hope I'm getting her name right. If she's the one, she got the guy right, I'm going to date in that same way. Maybe if I don't have a lot of dating experience or I want to try something new, certainly like putting yourself out there, doing what you got to do to get the guy's attention or her attention or their attention. But in that season, and I don't think it was just the edit, she was not liked amongst the other women. No. Oh my gosh. They did not like her because they felt that she wasn't playing fair.
Well, I mean, she's not there for them. What
I know. I feel like, I see your point. I do.
It sounds as though Vivian, air quotes,
was very loose air quotes.
She was just doing whatever it took. And on top of that, it sounds like she made great TV. Or else she probably wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she was, of course, she was beautiful, but so are, all the women that are on The Bachelor. So it wasn't just a matter of looks. It was, she kind of dated with that edge.
Imagine being 12 seeing that.
I was practically. I was like a teenager. We were like, oh my God, Mom, can you believe this cliffhanger for next week?
I think it's interesting that someone like that won, because I feel like that's such an impressionable, it's such an impressionable thing to be the winner of a show like The Bachelor and win in that way. It's part of the reason why I don't think that I won The Circle, is because story wise, it just like the pricklier character, it's not fun for them to win. So I think that it's very awesome that Vivian, air quotes, won doing whatever it took, and she kind of rubbed the girls the wrong way, because we always see that person kind of come up short. But on the flip side of that, for young girls, I'm like, was Vivian so vivacious that a young girl might be like, well, now I need to be Megan Fox so I can get the guy? Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no right or wrong to this. Like, there's no passing shame or judgment or guilt for however you may be dating, past, present, or future. This is a part of Flirtations where I want to have these discussions and just conversations that just help us and help me, because I'm single and dating as well, just have more curiosity and self-awareness about how not just I'm dating, but making connections and forming relationships in all forms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
I'm now literally, I've never watched The Bachelor, like a complete season of The Bachelor, right? But now, after hearing that this young lady won, and I hate a spoiler, I'm now really interested to see how that story arc kind of played out. And it
was a good season.
I've never wanted to watch The Bachelor ever, and now I'm kind of like, those 90-minute episodes now sound like they got something good in them.
Yeah, it was a good season. And I forget which one it was, but it was definitely a hot minute ago. It wasn't like last year, because I'm pretty sure I was in high school.
well, then it was really good, because reality TV was better back then.
Yeah, and how, like, going back to the point you made, just talking about the expectations, it's like, yeah, if you watch that Bachelor Bachelorette style of show, and I don't think it's just exclusive to that series, where it's like it's dating in a bubble. It's dating in this kind of pseudo vacation where you're living in this mansion. You're not living day-to-day life. You're not running errands. You're not going to work. You're not cooking your own meals. You're not doing laundry. You're jet setting all over the world. Like, it is, yes, it's television, but you're dating in this bubble. And I think that skews so much about what we expect and how we anticipate dating to be, when in real life you're going to be dating and oops, like, unfortunately you just lost your job, or something happened with your pet or a family member or a friend. Like,
a lot of people don't think about external forces when we watch shows like this, because it really is exactly like you said. when you're on a show in general, period, whatever that is becomes your entire world. You get sucked into it so fast if you allow it, which I think every good reality personality should. If you allow it to become your world, like you really become like sucked into it and invested in it. So I can understand why certain relationships are formed so quickly. However, for us, the viewers that are not in that bubble, we shouldn't be like, this is how it's going to be if I'm this way, or this is how it's going to be if I meet someone that behaves that way, because we forget that there's cameras, there's money involved, and there's also producers going, every now and then. So I don't know.
You heard it here first. That's
the
inside tea, yes, from someone that was on the other side of the camera and now has been a viewer and participant and contestant. And I'm like, this is why I think so often we see the relationships fall apart on dating shows, is because you're then trying to transfer this vacation fantasy into real life, and you transition to dating long distance. A lot of these people, they don't live like in the same town or within driving distance. So now you're trying to settle back into normal life, deal with also maybe some fame that's coming along with it. Dating long distance, like this is just, God, you got to really have a super strong connection and just feel very strongly about each other. We see it happen. We do. I'm thinking of, Love, the first season of, was it Love is Blind, with Lauren and
Cameron. They still together, very in love. Shout out to Lauren and Cameron, because I feel like there have been lots of couples on Love is Blind that have come out and stayed together since, but I feel like because they were like one of the first. Like when I think of Love is Blind, I think of Lauren and Cameron as like the successful couple of that franchise, and they are truly in love, y'all. I swear it's not fake. They love each other down.
Oh, you can see it. They
you
truly
can see
do.
it. Yeah. I love it. I love them.
Would
you do Love is Blind?
Love is, see, if I am trying my ass off to get on a reality show.
I think it's so weird that you haven't been on a reality. I think you're just like the perfect package of a character. As soon as you come in with that mustache, I would be like, all right, move him to the next round. Like whatever show it was, I'd be like, oh, we got it. Next round.
I think I would just be like, win, lose, or draw. I think I'm camera ready just for that experience. And I would have so much fun doing it. Like there would certainly be moments of excitement and nerves and like all the things. And I'm very transparent, very open and vulnerable. Like you're going to know what I'm going through and what's on my mind. Like I feel like that's the experience I want to have, and just do my best, whatever the show or situations are. Like I've applied for The Circle twice. I have reached out. I've applied to some other reality shows that are in different stages of development. I don't know if they'll ever see the light of day, kind of thing. They're new franchises, but I've applied. I used to, for many years, applied every year to The Real World.
Oh my God, same.
Yes, you too? Yeah.
Oh my God, the Real World and Big Brother were like the two. I would go back like every single year, and every year they'd be like, who is this? Like now that I've been on TV, I so get why they never even, like Big Brother was like, bitch, get out of here. But like now I so understand, like it's the way that you package yourself. You have to like know what kind of character you think you are, like the most exaggerated version of yourself. So my thing was, oh my God, I spilled the tea and that was my job, but now I'm barista. Like I don't understand like how you don't go in there like, oh my God, I'm a flirt coach and I'm a gay Libra. Like why wouldn't I win Big Brother? I would just flirt my way to the end. Like
that's what I said.
Love me because I exude love. Like it's like, I don't understand. Like it blows. I think about this randomly. Like every once in a while, I'll be like, oh, what? Picturing that flirt coach. Why he not on TV yet? And then I'll think like, maybe he's on TV and I don't know yet.
Not yet. I mean, I put that in all of my submission videos now, especially. I'm like, hello, a flirt coach. I'm going to flirt my way to the top.
Yes.
I know.
We're manifesting. We got to manifest this.
I haven't applied for Big Brother, although that is a show I watch with my mom every year. We live apart now, so we catch up on text and things like that. But that's the one. God, I love it. But that is a time commitment.
It's a time commitment.
It is months I guess that one would be a challenge for me, just knowing that, I mean, Big Brother After Dark, the cameras are on 24/7 and you're living in this confined space. I mean, sharing a bedroom with like 4 and 5 people.
That's why I did the circle.
Yeah, because you had your own
Because
bedrooms.
I was by myself, and I'm always, but I love being by myself. So I
Me
was
too.
calling it comfortable survivor while I was there until they told me to stop. They were like, we can't have you on camera like constantly saying that. I was like, it's like comfortable
Comfortable
survivor. Like,
Honestly, your own 1-bedroom apartment.
yeah,
Like,
it was cute. It was cold, but it was cute. Very
oh,
cute.
and you had like access to like the gym, and you had the rooftop, and you had the hot tub. Like
Yeah.
it looked nice.
They had to force me out of the apartment to
God,
get
that would
air
so
because
be
I was
me.
just, I
Yeah.
was living my life on my little brown couch, you know?
Go get some sunlight, Courtney.
They're like, you
Some
need some air.
oxygen.
They're like, we'll tell you about what's happening with Wendy Williams in the States if you just come up to the rooftop. I'm like,
Say less. I'm there.
I was like, is she all right?
Oh my God. But have you, because you're on TikTok. Okay. So I
am.
side note, I have completely gone down the rabbit hole. There's this one account that is posting, I forget the name of the account, but they're posting all of these videos of like outtakes from the Wendy Williams show. Do you remember the Shady Cameraman?
Oh, yeah.
God.
What was that? When they went to the zombie face, what was that?
There is something like a 10, 11, 12 part series on this account of all these outtakes of the Shady Cameraman. Let me tell you, when I stayed up over the weekend on Saturday night till 2 a.m, just laughing my ass off to these. Oh my God.
Wendy
So
Williams.
good.
I went to the Wendy Williams show for my 23rd birthday. And it's one of my favorite birthdays of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time. I just love her. Great experience. Shout out to Wendy Williams.
Shout out to Wendy Williams. We hope she's doing, good.
Safe.
Safe. Yes, safe. That is a good way to put it. Okay, so I wanted to ask you now. I have this on my list of questions. As someone that's been watching reality TV shows for a minute, even applying for them too, do you think contestants have changed over time? Like, do you think the type of people that are coming onto shows has changed? And part of this question is this knowing that reality TV used to exist without social media. And I'm curious to hear your take on that.
I think you're going to understand exactly what I mean when I say this.
Okay.
When I was 13 and I started watching The Real World, I was like, I want to do that. I want to be on TV. I want to live my life. I want to come off the show and I want to do a couple nightclub appearances, do a little quick hosting thing on MTV Spring Break, and then like go and be an actor. Now, I think it's like, I'm going to get on a show so I can get 300,000 followers and be an influencer and have a podcast and XYZ. And so I don't think, like, I was always going to be on reality TV. The same way I feel like you are always, like, you're meant to be on reality TV, and I'm 100% sure it's going to happen for you. And I think that a lot of people really use it now as a vehicle to get out of having a conventional career. Like, they'll be like, well, I can just go on a reality show and I'll just like have however many followers and XYZ. Like, a lot of people see that I was on The Circle. I'll speak about myself specifically. A lot of people have seen that I've done The Circle. And at the time, I had like over 200,000 followers, like when the show was finished. And since then, some of the other players haven't seen the same rise in platform. And it's just simply because as the shows go on, as the seasons go on, like it just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
Or a different franchise, a brand new franchise may come out, and what if it just flops? So then you didn't go on it and like get what you wanted instead of just going on it for the love of entertaining. Like you could tell I was on a circle just being a fool just because I like being a fool. Like, you know what I mean? But I also think that you can always tell when people go on TV specifically because they want to have some sort of social media something after. And I don't think that kind of person always reads as well on camera.
I so agree with you, where it's like, thinking back to myself as well, just applying for those seasons of The Real World, in my early 20s, even late teens, like there was no social media of any kind, or like Facebook was just starting to become a thing, but it was just like for certain universities. And so there was no objective of really social influence or clout. It was for just because you loved the show and like you wanted that experience. And then you went back and you just lived your life. And yeah, maybe you got some speaking appearances, like it turned into, like you went on to the challenge series, or like it sort of transitioned into something outside of that. But now I feel like so often you're seeing people come on reality shows with this objective of, I'm going to grow my following, I'm going to grow my podcast, or I'm going to somehow transition this into an influencer career. And it makes it, I think it takes the sort of the humanness out of the experience a little bit as a viewer, where now it becomes more of a performance and less of about the connections people are making. And so I think that's a part of the expectation piece here around how these shows can impact our dating lives. It, like, if you're watching them, it seems like, okay, maybe I need to kind of treat my dates as a performance.
No.
I know.
I think that we should watch our dating shows for giggles and entertainment value.
Yes, for
but
fun.
We don't take what we watch and project that onto our personal lives, because our personal lives are not this dramatized package that we're putting out to the world. Like, we're trying to, hopefully, depending on what our goals are, like find our person or our people, depending. So, I laugh, kiki, sip tea, and then go live real life. We got to go touch some grass.
Yes. I'm glad you said that, because this was a question I had, where the lines they've been blurred for me in the past. And like, I really get into some of these shows and I try and like sort of date like the people on them. And it doesn't feel like, you got to go touch some grass and live your life too.
Yeah. And I think that you develop your own like kind of way of dating without TV, like in a way that's just unique to you. And I think that we owe it to ourselves to explore that and experiment, but not necessarily like put on like a wig for it, like, or a mask for it,
Yeah. I totally understand what you're saying. I'm curious. So we're going to transition the conversation to talking about social media. But before we do, what are some of your favorite reality dating shows that you've watched?
Okay. Don't laugh, because I'm not going against your brand of love and dating.
Okay.
But I've been notoriously against love shows, but I watch a bunch. I just like to complain about them, because I feel like we should have more diversity in the reality TV community. But that's a whole different topic. My favorite love shows are, I just watched Love Island for the first time.
Okay.
Like Love Island, I've finally realized everybody is trying to be Love Island. I didn't realize Love Island is like the Britney Spears of the love dating shows. Like all of these dating shows have all tried to take some sort of element from Love Island, and to sit and watch the show like day to day and realize it in real time was mind blowing a few weeks ago. Okay. So I love Love Island now. I've got many seasons to watch now.
Okay.
Love Island. I do love my Love is Blind. I don't think I'll ever get tired of Love is Blind. I love on Netflix Perfect Match, simply because their version of Love Island is all my friends are on it. So like I'll take that. I can take that.
Okay.
And what else do I like to watch? There's a dating show on Netflix that is like I forget what it's called, but it shows people going on dates, but it's like three people. It's like it's like one person, but they're going on three different dates. And then at the end, they like choose a person. I don't know if it's called Dating Around or something like that.
Yes, I've seen it. I can't think of the name either.
So good. I love the way that it's shot. I love to see, I love the first date energy. Like, I think that show is a lot of fun and should have had more seasons.
Yeah.
But those are the few that are like off the top of my head. What about you?
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So I have never watched Love Island. And so that's something I know. I need to get into it. Partly I just work so much. It's been a time thing. But it's a time I know. I'm hearing it again now. And so what should I like start with just the first season?
No. This season that just came out, US season 6, whatever season Ariana Madix from Vanderpump Rules just hosted.
I love her.
Oh, same. It's the only reason I watched. Because she hosted.
I feel like such a bad fan because I'm a huge Vanderpump Rules fan. Like I have not missed a season of that show. When like the last time I was in West Hollywood, you better believe I took my picture in front of Sir, right?
I didn't know, don't laugh, but I was at a game night. This is how my Vanderpump Rules journey started. I was at a game night with a few friends from Big Brother, and I didn't know, I only knew Sheena by face. And I was keying with this very nice, like, because it was a party. So I was like keying with this very nice, like, Australian guy with a ponytail. And like days later, someone was like, oh,
was it Brock?
You were hanging out with Sheena's husband. And I was like, who is Sheena's husband? And then I was like, you know what, let me sit down and watch the show. And then 3 days later, the Scandival thing happened. So then I watched the whole entire show. And then me and my friend just threw a murder mystery party at Schwartz and Sandy's like last week.
What?
Yeah, it's been a long road. Yeah, we love Vanderpump Rules here. We love them.
Same.
Oh my God. But yeah, Ariana's hosting Love Island. It's great.
Okay. I definitely got to check that out. And some of my favorites, like I'm going to do some of the throwbacks of like Flavor of Love. I used to watch those. Yeah. I love New York. Like I will even go back and like those are comfort shows to me. I will go back and rewatch them. And then I got into some of the TLC ones, like Love at First Sight, 90 Day Fiance, like some of those.
90 Day Fiance. Is that a show I should watch from episode 1? Because I have a lot of people that watch the TLC shows, and I've never been able to find one that's like my TLC show yet, you know?
I would say it's like the episodes can be, they're not going to necessarily be as drama packed as some of the like sort of like your Bachelor or Love Island style shows with, I think, just have bigger casts. Whereas like 90 Day Fiance, it's a smaller cast where you're focusing on couples one-on-one. And so like I find they could be shorter episodes, but I find it very interesting.
Okay. It sounds like maybe they focus more on story than drama.
Yes.
Is it more just like a documentary and like...
Yes. Yeah, okay, kind of like, following the couples around. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Unfolding laundry, seeing what they're up to. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and you really, because you're following them over a period of time as they're living their real lives. And so you're getting, some of those things and points of contention that come up with dating in real life. So it's in some ways a more accurate depiction of what the dating process looks like than, a Love Island, I think. Perhaps, yeah.
I have to start watching the TLC shows. That's my reality TV blind spot. Because my strongest thing is Bravo. I love Bravo. But TLC is like, I don't know much about the TLC, so I gotta watch. Yeah. Isn't it like My 300-Pound Life on that one as well?
Oh yeah, that's one. Or is it My 600? Yeah.
See, I didn't even know it. I didn't even know they
think
went
it's
up to
600. That's a good one with Dr. Narzan, Dr. N, I think. Yeah, that's a great show. And then another dating show I really, really love is The Millionaire Matchmaker. Not on anymore. But do you remember that one from Bravo back in the day?
She's back. Or she's coming back. On
Patty Stanger?
Don't laugh. She's coming back on CW. Ooh. Yeah, okay. I think that's recent. I've never watched her seriously. I think I've maybe seen like an episode or 3, maybe a handful.
Yeah.
But where I really don't want to sidetrack us. Where's your show that's like that?
One day I would love to, if it's not a reality television show for me, it will be hosting some style of dating show a la Millionaire Matchmaker, a Love Island or something.
Easy pitch.
Yes. I'm so ready. Like I'm ready, truly. Because and like I could double duty, right? Like I'm gonna be working double time, not just as your host, but as your in-house dating coach.
Right? Like, where are the casting people? This is so annoying. You need to be on TV.
Yes, have the cast, have the couples, have all the people sit down with me and let's do some coaching. Let's do some
when they do the ultimatum and they just do gay men, like you're the person they should call.
God.
Like you'd be so perfect.
Yeah. I'm like, every episode, right? Every video I post, everything, every story, I'm like, you never know who may see it. You never know.
It's all an audition. It's always
you just got to keep going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's true.
It's gonna happen for you. Sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting.
Thank you,
but it's just
I appreciate the encouragement.
Like a TV show.
Yes, yeah, yes, because it would be so much fun. And like I'm not like at this point, like I'm not camera shy. We're good.
Yeah,
yeah.
Let me
One
manifest.
day. One day. Let's manifest. I think this was a good transition into now talking about social media. And so I want to ask you, it's like, I mean, that's how I primarily show up, is creating content on social media. And I see myself more so as a coach and creator. I think some people, some of the flirties and just people, scrolling by see me as more of an influencer type. Regardless of how you see me, like I'm curious from your perspective, what role do you think social media personalities, whether it be influencers, coaches, what role do they play in our dating lives?
Oh my God, people will feel like if they can see themselves in the creator um that they're watching, that
Mm-hmm.
they should take whatever advice that they are giving. Which, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm 100% guilty of that. I love it. Validate me every
Yeah.
single swipe on TikTok. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I know I need to be doing that.
Oh my God, stop.
But no, but really, it's the truth.
Oh
So,
my God.
I think that people online, all of us, we have
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
influence than we realize.
Yeah.
Because I will put out something that will literally flop and have like 500 plays on TikTok, and then I'll be out somewhere, literally in a nightclub, and someone will be like, "Oh my God, you're the guy that talked about blah 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 on TikTok," and I'll be like, "What are
Mm-hmm.
you like, girl? What? Okay."
Mm-hmm.
And you just like you said, you never know who's watching,
Yeah.
and who's taking the information, whether it's entertainment or something of value or both,
Yeah.
and applying it to their lives.
Yeah. Yeah. This one is like, yeah, because we're both in it as creators and creating, whether it be posts or videos, podcasts, like things that are then, watched or listened to, kind of consumed in many ways, and like we become a part of people's lives. And to your point, like it's so interesting to see just how the trends are cyclical in social media. Whereas like last year, what was really doing super well, at least for me and a lot of other coaches, were the educational styles of videos, like your tips, your tricks, like your 5 ways, your countdowns, right? Your do this, not that. It was really about educational content. That's not hitting anymore. It's content that you were describing where people want to feel like they can relate to you, where they feel understood, they feel seen, where you're giving validation to their lived experiences so that they feel less alone on things that they may not be talking to anyone about, that they may not even be honest with themselves about. And I always try and think of that when I'm creating. I always try and be mindful, and I hope I create things like my sort of official flirt coach position is that of compassionate accountability. I really want to be compassionate and patient and understanding. At the same time, it's my role as a coach to hold you accountable to behaviors or decisions that aren't aligned with who you are, that aren't fulfilling. So how can I do that in a way on sort of the other end of the screen without making you feel bad or perhaps passing judgment or seeming like I'm criticizing? And I see that a lot of times from coaches, and God, it bothers me. It bothers me
Well,
so much.
let me just say that you have accomplished your goal. I think
Whew.
that you never come off like judgy or anything like that. I think that you always come off like naturally super helpful and upbeat and positive. It very much gives like, if you trip, it's fine. Dust yourself off and try
Mm-hmm.
again energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I always have appreciated that about your
Mm.
content. Like it never makes you feel like you're stupid for not knowing. Instead,
Mm.
here's a golden nugget. Now go and use it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's what I hope for, because I know that doesn't always position me as being the most click worthy, the most share worthy, because it's not sort of like hitting an emotion maybe in your heart or in your gut. Like it's sort of not, you're not having that a visceral reaction of anger, of, something, where it's like a lot of content is designed to instigate an uncomfortable feeling within you, because that is what is going to cause you to react. That is what is going to cause you to comment, to share, to follow, right? When you feel something. And I would much rather you feel hope, you feel understood. Like I'm looking to connect with you on those levels. And there's a lot of other coaches that do this as well, and they do a beautiful job of it. And that's like what I always hope to do. I'm curious, What's part of your creation strategy?
I think for me, I've always just been kind of the creator that wants to inform while also being a little bit goofy. Um, I love making people feel like they're in the know
Yeah.
because for whatever reason, people always feel like I'm in the know. So
Yeah.
I'm going to mirror that back for you. So now you're also in the know. So I always try to deliver the news when I'm talking about news in a way that's like,
Yep.
oh, girl, let me tell you
Yep.
about what's going on. And then the feedback that I usually receive is like, I see your video and then 10 minutes later, I see it all over the news. And so like they love that, like, you're so fast with it. Like, but you also like are able to give your opinion. It's not just like a topical, here's the news. Like I'm gonna say, this album is gonna be iconic, I think, because this person can rap, But other than that, I've always tried to put out content that I think relates to people. Like you said, like relating to people is definitely something that is prevalent and working in the TikTok community and just online in general. And so like the videos that I'll spend an hour on CapCut editing won't do well, but the ones where I'm just like throwing my phone up on the kitchen counter being like, I can't wait for Love Island to end and for them all to come out of the house so we can all be excited. Like that's the video that does well. Like, So I get it. I'm learning also as well, like as I go on, because things are always evolving.
Yeah. Yeah. And I definitely get that from your content. Like when I need my news, I need some pop culture insight. What's happening? What's the tea? I want an opinion. I want a thought, right? Something original and fun. Courtney. Yeah.
It's about fun. A fun little green screen moment.
Yes. I love it. I love it. And I have, it's why is it the videos that you create with so much conviction and like you have the planning and the time and the angles and the lighting and like it's like, oh, this is the one. This is my next viral video right here. Womp womp. It's like big
500 plays.
My God. Big old piece of flopperoni pizza right there. And it's the ones that are just more organic in the moment. So often are the ones that just, they can take off.
And I like that also because it makes me feel like I'm being rewarded for being authentic. But man, I'm also a creator and I like to do a little Zoom effect here and there and, put some effort into some things. I like to be rewarded for that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. All right. Now we've got a little bit more time. And so I want to ask you this question just around representation of beauty standards and aesthetics where like I think social media, if you're on it, can sometimes be a very disheartening or even negative experience when like maybe like you're single and dating or you just like me or you just went through a heartbreak or a breakup, something like that, and then you're seeing like the happy couple on your Instagram or TikTok feed on YouTube, or you feel like you're not pretty enough to date because you don't necessarily see yourself represented on social media. And so I wanna speak to this question where it's like sometimes social media can make you feel like you're not good enough.
That's why I think it's important for people to log off and go touch some grass, not in a mean way, but to go out and to see, because I think that the internet is a very like as big and as vast as it is, it's a very like it's like a pond to me. You're only seeing certain things that you enjoy, things that you interact with. So if you're constantly interacting with people that you deem pretty or people that are above what you have as your beauty standards, then you're going to make yourself feel bad. But if you go outside and you go in the mall and you see people that look like you and you go in a grocery store and you see people that look like you might not feel that way. So it's important to put the phone down, especially coming from me. I know that might be a little strange chronically online, but you have to take breaks and you have to go out and you have to see your friends, and those things are important for your self-esteem, whether you realize it or not, know?
Yeah. And I'm going to say the same thing. Put your phone down. Like as two people that live on the internet and are like, would love to watch our videos, please share and listen to our podcast at the same time. I think it's really important to use social media strategically in some ways. Yeah, it can be certainly for entertainment value. Like, you're scrolling TikTok and you're looking at shady cameraman videos about Wendy Williams or like the trending dances, right? I've got my saved folder with my favorite videos where I just need to pick me up. I need to laugh. I need to watch something uplifting. So I it's not this black and white experience where it's like doom and gloom or just like all like sunshine and rainbows, but like you've got to curate in many ways your social media experience, and that means unfollowing people if their content is not making you feel good. You can block people, you can mute them, you can remove them. Like you get to have agency over and autonomy over your experience on social media, and that is something like Flirty. I am blocking people left and right. I am constantly telling social media, show me more of this, don't show me this, not interested, don't like it, so that I can have what I hope is a really positive and fun experience on social media.
People forget that like you have control. Like you said,
Yes.
you can mute, you could block. I love blocking people. Oh
my
God.
God. Woo.
I love the
Yeah.
way I will block so fast. It's so much fun. Y'all gotta block, y'all gotta mute, because I think in a way it's like protecting yourself from those external forces that can really cause you to not like yourself as much as you should. You know?
Yeah, and take those breaks when you need to, because it's gonna like, you know, the apps or the platforms, depending on which one you're on many of them. It seems like they'll keep kind of pushing perhaps a similar style of content, but over time, you truly can curate your FYP, your Explore, right? If you're on YouTube, all the things you're listening to podcasts, and really have them be these tools for entertainment, but also for education and knowledge and self-awareness, and just to have them be places to go where you just can experience connection too. Like that's why I'll always be a part of social media, is because I think they're great tools for us to connect with one another. That's how we're having this conversation right now.
Yeah, literally. I think about sometimes like I wouldn't even have like some of my best friends like if it wasn't for like the internet and YouTube and conventions and stuff like that. Like it all started with social media and the internet. So I'm grateful for it, but I've definitely over the years have learned how to use it in a way that's beneficial for me mentally, you know? You got to learn quick when you wake up one day and you go on Facebook and see a post that say, am I the only one that hates Courtney? And it's 300 comments. You got to learn, well, maybe I should just close the phone. I should just throw that over there and just, let's go to the pier.
Oh my gosh. And this, okay, I think I have two more questions for you. And this one is like, it's around parasocial relationships, which exist on and off social media, with whether you're like consuming any type of media, TV, movies, listening to podcasts, reading blogs, like where we can feel super connected to the people we pay attention to, we follow, we watch and listen to. And like we can feel like we're a part of their lives. And sometimes we even feel their lived experiences, maybe their pain if something bad happens, their joy if something good happens. And I'm curious, like, because even like creating this right now and putting it out there, like there's going to be a lot of people listening to this. Whereas it's actually just the two of us having the conversation, but it's also a conversation that's happening worldwide with so many people. It's so interesting to me. I don't know if that was a specific question, but curious just to hear your perspective on the relationships we building and create with entertainers, creators, coaches.
I think I have a weird perspective on it because I have lived on both sides, right?
Yeah.
So like before I was on TV, I was really, really into the YouTube community, like a lot. And so when you say parasocial relationship, it is like coming home from work and being like, I know there's a Tyler Oakley video out, or like, O2L, let's just put a video out. Like, you know what I mean? And like knowing like where all your favorite YouTubers are at any given time because they've put on their social media that they're flying somewhere. I'll be like, oh, so-and-so must have just landed because now they're tweeting again. It can be a lot of fun. And I also want to express that I've went and physically met all of my favorite like YouTubers, content creators that I really liked at the time back then. On the other side of it, to be on a huge platform like Netflix and then come out and feel as though every single thing that you do is being watched is terrifying. to the thought of like unfollowing somebody and then like a Reddit post being made about it and hundreds of people commenting on it.
Wow.
Terrifying. It's always fun when you're like the fan or you're like the audience member or like what have you, the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different level mentally when you're on the other side of it. And I didn't realize the pressure and the anxiety, or like when the circle came out, just me going to like Jamba Juice and me thinking that the person saying hi to me like at the register was because I was on the YouTube channel, right? Like the YouTube channel had like 1 million subscribers or whatever. So I'm thinking they're like, oh my God, the morning tea, Courtney and Madison. And they were like, oh my God, the circle, the Joker. And my blood runs cold. Like, well, girl, you were just on TV. Like, of course, like it's airing. You know, and it just becomes like a different, it feels like expectation and responsibility when you're the one being parasocial relationship with, because people they want to feel close to you, and I get it. You just got to be firm enough to set boundaries in place. That's all.
Yeah. I think that's a good response. It's reminding me of this interview from Chapel Roan that came out not too long ago, where she was like, look, when I'm doing an interview, when I'm performing, like I'm clocked in, I'm at work. But if you see me at Jamba Juice on a Saturday morning at 9 a.m., I ain't clocked in. Like I'm not at work.
Yeah, like I say the same thing. When you see me out with glasses on, I am Courtney from the circle. When you see me with glasses off and you're thinking, is that Courtney?
Yeah.
I'm I'm always friendly and I'm always say hi and I'm always be on FaceTime and talk to your mom or whatever. Love a FaceTime call with a mom. But like, you know, there are usually times like if my mom is here to visit, like, girl, we got a dinner, girl. We invite you for steak and veggies. Like, you know, and some people will like come up. Like I've been in a situation where like I've been at an event and it's like fans are able to like come and interact with us and I love that. Like I'm girl, come hang out.
Yeah.
And the person like got so comfortable, they started eating the food off my plate.
Oh. Okay. No, that's a little too close for comfort.
Just tugged a wing and a little piece of celery right off my plate.
You know what? Go ahead, take this whole plate. Let me get another one.
Like, yeah, literally that. So
that's too much.
You know.
Yeah.
Get ready. Your life soon.
I appreciate your perspective, partly because like I was really curious too, where it's like, yeah, I love that we can create and hold these spaces, whether it's social media, podcasting, could be TV, movie, any form of media where you're holding this space for connection. And ultimately we're watching even like movies, which are completely made up, but they make us feel something. And that's like, I think why people can feel so connected. And I hope the Flirties feel connected is because there's emotion, there's feeling, there's true intention and a real sentiment of genuineness behind all of this. And so I love that these can be spaces and places for connection, which is ultimately what, for me, it's all about. And like, I'll share from my perspective, it's like the quote I think of, it's one of my favorite quotes of all time. It comes from Billie Jean King. And she said, pressure is a privilege. And it's like, yeah, there's an immense amount of pressure on this end, setting up these interviews and doing the recording and putting it out and then showing up online every day. Meanwhile, like I've got 2 other jobs I'm working outside of all of this. Like it's a lot, but what an incredible position of privilege to be in, that like I've done a lot of work and just done a lot of preparation to lead me here. And like the only thing I can do is keep showing up. Like that's all I can do. And I've been recognized a handful of times. Like it has not happened. It's a pretty rare experience, but I am just like humbled and like just so tickled every time it happens. It's like, what?
I would freak out if I saw you in public. I would recognize you immediately. I'd be like, oh my God. I would literally lose if I were in like Sir or like Tom somewhere and you turned around with the mustache.
Really? No.
Yes. Are you kidding me?
Maybe it's where I live in North Carolina, but like, yeah, I go because I like have two very public facing jobs outside of this. I work at Trader Joe's 4 days a week. I teach yoga 3 days a week, and most of the like I'm just living my life. Like I just show up and I have fun and I do my jobs, and that's just life is very, very normal day to day outside of like on my quote unquote days off recording
Today and
episodes
for
of
now.
Flirtations.
Oh my God. Like, if please, whoever's listening to this, can we please put this man on a television show? It's stressing me out.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Maybe this will be the one.
I hope so.
Be my
Casting
big
with
break.
Joy. Can we put him on something? Please, somebody
Call me. My
please.
DMs are open.
Please. It's like a whole fully like fleshed out brand to me.
Yes.
To me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
The Flirt Coach brand. I know who I am, right? We've got a tagline. We've got a logo. We've got brand colors. Yes. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. That's
whole
literally
thing.
that's literally what's happening. Like, it's a whole thing. Where have y'all been?
Yeah. The Flirt brand. Oh my gosh. Okay. These go, so quickly. Courtney, I just had one more question, and that is just, to wrap up, any final thoughts for the Flirties on this topic and where you live on the internet, how people can find you, follow, and listen to your podcast?
I want to say to the Flirties, keep it on, keep believing in yourself. Rejection is redirection, and remember that you are exactly where you need to be, and it is all coming to you. You just got to be there to grab it. So set yourself up.
Yes.
Be ready, because when you're ready, you ain't got to get ready. Now, you can find me on the internet at Courtney Revolution on Instagram and at Court Revolution on TikTok and Snapchat. And you can also find me as the co-host of my podcast that I do with my best friend, Madison Hill. It is called Toast to Tea. We talk about celebrities and pop culture and stuff.
Perfect. Courtney, thank you so much. I'll make sure all that is linked in the show notes so the Flirties can find you super easily. Yes. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode of Flirtations and the Flirt community.
Thanks for having me. I feel honored.
Flirties, what do you think of this episode? Thank you to our guest, Courtney Revolution, for having this conversation with us today as we dated in virtual reality, as I really had this idea to explore how the media shapes, impacts, and influences our dating lives, our perceptions of love, of relationships, of making connections. I was just fascinated by it all. As someone that literally lives online, social media has always fascinated me. Media in general has always fascinated me as someone, right? You heard from the episode, watching episodes of The Bachelor and Bachelorette there with my mom as kind of a kid, I suppose. Yeah, a little on the young side, but enjoying every last minute of it. So happy to have this conversation with Courtney Revolution today. For more, you can check out the show notes to listen to Courtney's podcast, to follow Courtney. Highly recommend you do. And please reach out and connect with me on Flirtstagram, Flirt Talk, right here via the comments on the Flirtations Flirtcast. We can work together one-on-one. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review, subscribe, share it with a friend, a family member, a coworker, a neighbor. Yeah, I would love it if you did. And with that, it's a wrap for this episode of Flirtations. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening today, wherever you may be in the world. And I will see you, or talk at you, talk with you, talk to you. Yeah, converse, connect, flirt with you again very, very soon. All right, Flirty. Happy flirting.